Good evening, you're now with me, Razi Ahmad, for TVS Nightline. Here are the headlines for tonight. The Sarawak Labour Ordinance SLO is expected to be tabled at the Dewan Rakyat by the end of this year. Sarawak Premier pushes for high-value sector growth. And the Industrial Training Institute, ILP, in SERIAN is set to welcome its first batch of students starting in January next year. The Sarawak Labour Ordinance SLO is expected to be tabled at the Dewan Rakyat by the end of this year. Human Resources Minister Stephen Sim Chi Keong said the amendments are aimed at aligning the SLO with the Employment Act 1955, which covers workers in Peninsular Malaysia.
Ini merupakan satu berita baik kerana Ordinan Buruh Sarawak ini kali terakhir pindaan ialah lebih kurang 20 tahun yang lalu. Maka dengan pindaan kali ini, pekerja di Sarawak akan mempunyai orang kata hak dan perlindungan yang sama dengan pekerja di Semenanjung Malaysia. Jadi selepas tahun ini kita akan melihat Akta Kerja diselaraskan dengan Ordinan Buruh Sarawak dan juga Ordinan Buruh Sabah yang telah saya bentangkan di Parlimen sebelum ini. Maka pekerja di seluruh Malaysia akan mendapat hak dan perlindungan yang sama. Tiada lagi layanan dua darjat ataupun double standard.
He said this when met by reporters after a courtesy visit to Sarawak Premier Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg at Wisma Bapa Malaysia earlier today. After the meeting, he also expressed gratitude to Abang Johari for being a front-runner in ensuring alignment between the SLO and the Employment Act 1955. Previously, the Sarawak government had agreed to amend the SLO to ensure it is in line with the International Labour Conventions. The latest amendment, the Employment Act 1955 Amendment 2022, approved in Parliament in March 2022. The Act took effect on January 1st, 2023, benefiting both employers and employees. Deputy Minister in the Sarawak Premier's Office of Labour, Immigration and Project Monitoring, Dato' Garawat Gala, had previously reported that amendments to the legal provisions of the Labour Ordinance of Sarawak Chapter 76 had been finalised and submitted to the Ministry of Human Resources and subsequently to the Attorney General's Department. The proposed amendments to the existing SLO are in line with international standards. Explaining this, Garawat stated that the SLO, once tabled and approved in Parliament, does not need to be represented at the Sarawak State Legislative Assembly, as it is a federal law applicable only in Sarawak. However, any amendments to the SLO must be approved by Parliament.
Sarawak Premier Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg is described as a visionary leader in developing high-value sectors. Human Resources Minister Stephen Sim Chi Keong said in order to achieve Abang Johari's vision, there is a need for skills training in these sectors to nurture the talents of Sarawakians in particular and Malaysians in general.
Kalau kita nak pelaburan bernilai tinggi, berpotensi tinggi, kita perlu juga ada jurutera, juruteknik, pekerja-pekerja berkemahiran tinggi, dan KESUMA akan memberikan kerjasama sepenuhnya bersama dengan Kerajaan Sarawak untuk memastikan contohnya ILP kita dan juga jaringan-jaringan institusi pendidikan, sama ada pendidikan konvensional ataupun pendidikan TVET, mempunyai kekuatan bagi melahirkan modal insan yang sesuai.
According to him, the Sarawak Premier raised many issues regarding the need for a skilled workforce, especially in high-value sectors, including aerospace. Previously, Abang Johari said Sarawak needs to prepare ahead by equipping local youths with skills in the highly advanced and comprehensive aerospace industry. This matter needs to be addressed following the meeting on Malaysia's physical development chaired by Prime Minister Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim. The meeting identified Sarawak, specifically the Lunduk Sematan area, as a potential site for satellite launches in Malaysia, given its closer proximity to the equator.
In other news, the Industrial Training Institute, ILP, in SERIAN is set to welcome its first batch of students starting in January next year. Human Resources Minister Stephen Sim said the institute is currently awaiting the issuance of Certificate of Completion and Compliance, CCC, in October.
ILP ini akan mampu untuk mengambil lebih kurang 600 orang pelajar. Kita jangka pengambilan ataupun kursus pengajian SEM pertama akan bermula Januari 2025, iaitu tahun hadapan.
Sim said the ILP is the third institute in Sarawak after ILP Kota Semarahan and ILP Miri, and will serve as a technical and vocational education and training TVET institute to produce highly skilled workforce in Sarawak.
The youth in Sri Aman are showing a growing interest and inclination towards modern agriculture, especially in rice farming. Beyond sports, the youth are also keen on actively participating in development programs and taking advantage of various initiatives introduced by the Sarawak government.
This sector, which is growing alongside empowerment of skills and technical knowledge, can enhance marketability in careers that promise sustainable returns.
Kami rasa memang belia-belia patut mengambil peluang yang sedia ada untuk menceburi lebih lagi dalam bidang pertanian tu, sebab apa kita bakal mengeluarkan padi kita sendiri daripada kita berharap daripada import dan ekspor daripada luar negara. Jadi mungkin kita boleh ekspor kita pun padi ke luar negara dan meningkatkan dalam masa yang sama kita meningkatkan ekonomi dan enhance kita pun infrastruktur dan sebagainya.
Meanwhile, it is essential to take advantage of higher education opportunities and understand the careers sought by today's industries. This, in turn, contributes to improving the living standards of Sarawak's people, especially in rural communities.
Untuk memajukan pendidikan, ekonomi. Kan kita tahu kan punya Bandar Siaman tu yang ada macam padi itu kan, mengembangkan lagi lah.
For Azrul Hafiz Ahmad, sports are gaining popularity among the youth in Sri Aman with a growing and promising level of interest.
Dekat Siaman, pembangunan macam gelanggang futsal ke, gelanggang badminton. Sebab belia dekat Siaman tu hanya banyak bersukan, tapi kurang tempat untuk bersukan.
Sarawak's para table tennis team aims to bring home at least 3 gold medals during the upcoming Parasukma 21, set to kick off on September 23rd. Sarawak Minister of Women, Childhood and Community Wellbeing Development, Dato Sri Fatimah Abdullah, said that the squad has undergone thorough preparations ahead of the biennial games.
According to her, of the 9 athletes representing Sarawak, 3 are expected to secure gold medals.
Now, ping-pong hanya ada 9 orang atlet. Dalam pada itu, mereka adalah atlet yang berkualiti. Sasaran mereka adalah 3 emas. 3 daripada 9 atlet itu sudah dikira 30%, which is very good. Cuma lepas ini nanti, untuk acara Parasukma, the day that we finish Parasukma edisi ke-21, we should also prepare then for the next Parasukma.
Fatima explained that to ensure the athletes are in peak condition, training will continue until the competition starts. On logistics, Fatima revealed that all Sarawak athletes will be housed at the Imperial Hotel.
Untuk Sarawak, kita akan tempatkan mereka satu di sebuah hotel, iaitu di Imperial. Tidak kira apa jenis sokan mereka ikuti. So ini penting bagi kita sebab kita mahu mereka berkumpul dan setiap malam kita dapat reflect dan juga beri motivasi untuk keesokan harinya.
The table tennis event will begin on September 23rd at SJK Chunghua No. 3.
Meanwhile, Sarawak's archery team is hopeful of clinching a gold medal for the contingent at the 21st Para-Sukma Games. Women's recurve archer Nur Izzatul from Limbang said that while their initial goal is to secure a bronze medal, she is optimistic that the archery team can deliver a surprise and bring home the gold.
Sasaran kami untuk tahun tu sebenarnya gangsa. Cuma kalau kami dapat bagi lebih, kami boleh bagi lebih lah. Ya, permintaan khas daripada YB lah. Sebelum tu, kami baru menyertai Sukma yang kali pertama ya 2022. Ia pun kami seorang jakwakil untuk Sarawak. 3 bulan sebelum pertandingan kami join. So, kami dapat nombor 7 daripada 13 orang. Harap tahun tu kami dapat lebih lagi lah.
Nur Izzatul added that this year, Sarawak's archery team will feature 3 athletes. At the same time, Minister of Women, Childhood and Community Wellbeing Development Sarawak, Dato' Sri Fatimah Abdullah, expressed her hope that the archery team would not easily give up and continue to give their best effort in Para-Sukma.
They have made a lot of improvement in 10 months training. Right. Now ialah untuk memastikan bahawa dari segi performance itu you beat your best. Yeah, we beat your best. And then you give your best. And then we hope that insyaAllah dengan usaha dan juga dengan komitmen tinggi daripada semua pihak, atlet dan coach. Dan dengan persediaan yang rapi yang telah dibuat, you will do better than before. Ini yang kita mahu.
Welcome back. His Majesty Sultan Ibrahim, King of Malaysia, arrived in Beijing, China on Thursday for a 4-day state visit to the country. The maiden state visit to China is at the invitation of President Xi Jinping. His Majesty's visit symbolizes the robust state of bilateral relations between Malaysia and China. The visit also coincides with the 50th anniversary of diplomatic relations between the two countries.
The special aircraft carrying His Majesty arrived at the official terminal, Beijing Capital International Airport at 3:30 p.m. local time. Sultan Ibrahim was received at the airport by China's Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs, Sun Weidong, China's Ambassador to Malaysia, Ouyang Yuting, Malaysian Foreign Ministry Secretary General, Datuk Sri Amran Mohammed Zain, and Malaysia's Ambassador to China, Datuk Norman Mohamad. His Majesty received a salute from a Guard of Honour mounted by the People's Liberation Army. During the visit, Sultan Ibrahim will be accorded a ceremonial welcome at the Great Hall of the People in Beijing, followed by an audience with Xi and a state banquet hosted by the Chinese President. His Majesty will also grant an audience to Premier Li Qiang and visit the Beijing Comac Aircraft Technology Research Center to observe the latest developments in China's aviation technology. His Majesty is also scheduled to attend the naming ceremony of the Chair of Malay Studies at Beijing Foreign Studies University in His Majesty's honor and engage with the Malaysian diaspora during the visit. This is the second state visit conducted by His Majesty, with the first being a 2-day visit to Singapore in May at the invitation of President Tharman Shanmugaratnam.
All actions and responses of the Ministry of Women, Family and Community Development regarding the Abang Bas issue and GISB Holdings SERIAN Berhad have been carried out in compliance with the law. Its Minister Datuk Sri Nancy Shukri stressed that the ministry is responsible in ensuring the welfare of children in the country and is ready to address any legal challenges on actions taken against the ministry.
GISB, you see, I know some people have been criticizing me in the social media. Kenapa dengan Abang Bas sibuk? Kenapa dengan GISB you are deafening your ears? Bukan kita sibuk pasal Abang Bas, because isu kanak-kanak ini adalah di bawah tanggungjawab kita. Apa tindakan kita adalah melapor kepada pihak polis. Dan selain itu, kalau saya dimaklumkan, mereka nak ambil tindakan undang-undang kepada salah satu daripada nama adalah nama saya. But by all means, itu hak orang. Hak yang nak mengambil tindakan kepada kami terpulang. Sekurang-kurangnya, you all know that kita sudah mengambil tindakan untuk menjalankan tugas kita menjaga kesejahteraan kanak-kanak di bawah Akta Kanak-Kanak. Nobody else ada kuasa itu.
She said this was following the signing of the Memorandum of Agreement MOA and the presentation of sponsorship from Yayasan Kebajikan Negara and Bintulu Port Holdings Berhad at the Bintulu Hospital on Thursday. In addition, Nancy said the GISB issue is distinct from the Abang Bas matter and the ministry has the authority to ensure the protection of the children depicted in the TikTok posts.
Jadi dalam hal GISB ini adalah kuasa polis dan kami bukan the lead agency yang nak menangkap, nak menyiasatkan. Sebab itu sudah menjadi kuasa polis. Cuma polis memerlukan kami sebagai penjaga dan pelindung dan juga itu yang akta berkuasa di bawah Akta Kanak-Kanak itu. Kita punya pegawai-pegawai pelindung pengasuh ini kami mempunyai kuasa di bawah Akta Kanak-Kanak untuk menguruskan kanak-kanak.
On September 5, a social media user shared a screenshot of a TikTok post by a school bus driver known as Abang Bas, who referred to children on the bus with terms of endearment. In response, Nancy directed Child Development Department JPKK officer to file a police report against the bus driver.
The Royal Malaysia Police today confirmed the arrest of 19 individuals, including the CEO of Global Ikhwan Services and Business Holdings and his wife, during an early morning Op Global operation. Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Razaruddin Hussein said the coordinated operation with the D8 Division of Bukit Aman and the Special Integrated Investigation Team from the Criminal Investigation Department CID D14 was conducted simultaneously at 4 residential units in Tower A, Berjaya Times Square, Jalan Imbi, Bukit Bintang at 5:40 in the morning.
The 19 individuals, comprising 12 men and 7 women, believed to be senior leaders of GISBH, arrived at the Sultan Abdul Aziz Shah Court complex at approximately 2:50 p.m. early today. They will be remanded for 7 days, starting today, to assist in investigations. The remand application for the individuals, aged between 25 and 65, was submitted before Magistrate Wan Nora Nisan Ngadirin at the Shah Alam Magistrates Court. They are currently being held at the central lockup of the Shah Alam District Police Headquarters. Last week, the Bukit Aman CID raided 20 charitable homes in Selangor and Negeri Sembilan linked to GISB Holdings, rescuing 402 children and teenagers, 201 boys and 201 girls, aged between 1 and 17 years old. Razaruddin previously revealed that health screenings conducted on 392 children rescued from the homes found evidence of physical and emotional abuse. The children were also suspected of being exploited for labour by being forced to sell goods. On Tuesday, His Majesty Sultan Ibrahim, King of Malaysia, decreed that PDRM conduct a swift and thorough investigation into the alleged criminal misconduct and child abuse issues linked to GISBH.
Back on TVS Nightline. Israel bombed Hezbollah strongholds in southern Lebanon on Thursday, piling pressure on the militant group after 2 waves of explosions targeted its communication systems, killing 37 people. Israel has not commented on the attacks, in which Hezbollah operatives' pagers and walkie-talkies exploded in supermarkets, on streets, and at funerals. According to Lebanon's health minister, the device explosions killed 37 people across 2 days, including 2 children, and wounded more than 2,900 others.
أول شيء بخصوص الشهداء الرقم هو لازال 12 شهيد اللي نحن ذكرناهم قبل، هيدا الرقم ما تغير. بخصوص الجرحى الرقم يعني التوتال اللي الإجمالي لعدد الجرحى اللي وصلوا على المستشفيات في ذلك اليوم هو 2323. نحن آخر رقم عند وزارة الصحة بخصوص الشهداء اللي سقطوا باعتداءات البارحة كانت 25 شهيد. نحن حتى الآن في عنا 25 شهيد. الرقم اللي كنا أصدرناه امبارح بالليل آخر واحد كان 20، نحن الرقم اللي هلأ عنا 25 شهيد. بما يتعلق بالجرحى اللي سقطوا امبارح كان عندنا نحن 608 جرحى، هذا كان العدد الإجمالي 608 جرحى.
The Iran-backed group has accused Israel of staging the unprecedented attacks, and its leader, Hassan Nasrallah, is scheduled to deliver a speech later Thursday that will be closely monitored for any indication of how the group plans to respond. Hezbollah is an ally of Palestinian Hamas group, which has been in fighting with Israel since the October 7 attack.
Meanwhile, Israel's police arrested an Israeli citizen allegedly recruited by Iran to plot the assassinations of top Israeli officials. Israeli security agency Shin Bet said that the targets included Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, and the Shin Bet Security Services Chief Ronen Bar, as well as other top officials.
Court document on Thursday identified the man as Mordecai Maman of Ashkelon and said he was born in 1952 without specifying his birth date. Document said he had been in custody since August 29. Joint statement from the police and Shin Bet said he was a businessman who lived in Turkey for an extended period and maintained connections with Turks and Iranians who introduced him by phone to an Iranian businessman called Eddie. It said the suspect first visited Iran in May 2024, where he was asked to carry out security missions in Israel, including transferring money or a gun, taking pictures of crowded public places. In August, the suspect was smuggled to Iran in a lorry for another visit, where he was asked to carry out terrorist activities for Iran on Israeli soil, including promoting assassination attacks. The statement said some of the proposed assassinations were characterized as revenge for the killing of Hamas political chief Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran in July.
The coming winter will prove the sternest test yet for Ukraine's energy grid since the beginning of Russia's invasion. Putting forward a 10-point plan for Ukraine to safeguard its war-battered energy security, the International Energy Agency also warned of problems for Moldova's electricity supply after Ukraine stops allowing the transit of Russian gas at the end of 2024.
But 26th of August, only a few weeks ago, there was a major attack from Russia damaging big chunk of the energy infrastructure in Ukraine. So this situation is very delicate now, especially winter is coming. And even before this attack, because of the previous attacks on the Ukrainian energy infrastructure, two-thirds of the power generation capacity of Ukraine was lost. And we are coming to winter. As you know, when the temperatures drop, energy demand increases, and this could be a major issue for electricity and for heating in Ukraine. For not only for the homes, but for the hospitals, for schools, for the communication networks, we may see huge implications, and this may lead to some consequences beyond the energy sector.
In the summer, when energy needs tend to be lower, Ukraine's capacity for power generation already fell more than 2 gigawatts below the peak demand of 12 gigawatts. As demand for energy to heat homes increases in winter, the IEA predicts that the country's peak demand could increase to nearly 19 gigawatts.
Sri Lanka is set to vote for its next president on Saturday in what amounts to a referendum on an International Monetary Fund (IMF) austerity plan introduced after the country's financial crisis. 75-year-old Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe is seeking a new mandate after stabilizing the economy and ending shortages of food, fuel and medicine.
He has also restored calm to the streets after civil unrest spurred by the downturn in 2022, so thousands stormed the compound of his predecessor, who promptly fled the country.
මේක දියුණු වෙනකොට අපේ නිෂ්පාදනය වැඩි වෙනකොට අපිට ආදායම් වැඩි වෙනකොට අපිට පුළුවන් බදු සහන දෙන්න අඩු කරන්න මේ ටික කරන්න මට ඕනේ ස්ථාවර ආර්ථිකයක් ඇති කරන්න අපේ ක්‍රමවේදය ප්‍රතික්ෂේප කරනවා නම් තවුන්නා හිතනවා නම් මේක වෙනස් කරන්න පුළුවන් කියලා මේ ඡන්දෙ දෙන්න මට නෙමෙයි.
However, his austerity measures, including tax hikes as part of a $2.9 billion IMF bailout, have left millions of Sri Lankans struggling. The economy remains vulnerable. The country's $46 billion foreign debt remains unpaid since the 2022 default. Wickremesinghe faces competition from strong challengers. Anura Kumara Disanayaka, leader of a Marxist party with violent history, but now gaining popularity by promising to overhaul the corrupt political system. The other formidable candidate is Sachith Premadasa, once aligned with Wickremesinghe, but now campaigning on a platform of securing more lenient terms from the IMF. Premadasa, the son of a former president assassinated during Sri Lanka's civil war, has promised to revise the IMF's tax structure, which has driven professionals to leave the country. According to official data, Sri Lanka's poverty rate doubled between 2021 and 2022, with 25% of the population living on less than $3.65 a day. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, has said reforms are showing positive results, with inflation falling from a peak of 70% to under 5% and economic growth gradually returning. However, the IMF warned that while progress has been made, Sri Lanka is not yet fully recovered, stressing the need to safeguard the gains achieved.
And those were the updates on TVS Nightline. I am Razi Ahmad. Thank you for watching and have a good night.